The rally in Pangolin is absolutely bonkers. The PNG token went up by 300% in the last month alone. Let's look behind the scenes. Who's driving this rally? Why is the price going up? And how much further could it potentially go? Let's have a look at data that most people are not looking at. This is the insane breakout I'm talking about. We are currently at 28 cents. Pangolin is a decentralized exchange on the Avalanche blockchain. Let's have a look at how many code changes there are in their GitHub repository. How many changes do the programmers actually make? The results here are neither terrible nor great. There was an update to the user interface yesterday, another update 2 weeks ago regarding the token listing. Lots of updates 2 weeks ago, but it's not massive activity. It appears that currently Pangolin is mainly maintaining their platform. It doesn't look like they are frantically working on a new product. Now here's the website, but as you know, I'm not going through the marketing jazz. This is not how we can get alpha. Instead, let's have a look at usage, because in the end, price development is a consequence of demand versus supply. Let's look at what could potentially drive demand here. It's probably not the staking program, because that only returns 6% APR. It might be partially the liquidity pools, because some of them do return quite nice APRs. USDC versus Avalanche 82%, USDT versus Avalanche 78%. Quite nice returns. But of course, this is providing capital to a liquidity pool of a decentralized exchange. So you do face things like impermanent loss. If you've never heard of things like impermanent loss, then better stay away and first learn about DeFi in general. Now I try to be as objective as possible on this channel. I look at the positives as well as the negatives. So let's have a look at how much capital has currently been locked up in Pangolin. And unfortunately, the result isn't that pretty. This is the total value locked of Pangolin over time. At one point in time, we were at almost $500 million. Now we are down to 32 million. And it's not really increasing that much in the last months. Now let's have a look at the relative performance of Pangolin, of the PNG token, to AVAX. So we're not looking at the US dollar chart, we're looking at the relative valuation to Avalanche. And the reason for this might be obvious, right? We take on more risk by getting into an altcoin on the Avalanche chain, so we want to get outperformance, right? Why would we take on more risk if we don't get more return? Now this is that chart, and unfortunately it's not pretty. Since February of 2021 to today, Pangolin underperformed AVAX by 97%. But hold on, most of that underperformance stopped in April of 2022. Now, why is that? The reason is token inflation. More and more tokens hit the market, more and more tokens dilute the price. And that effect was very, very strong when the circulating supply doubled in just a few months. Now, with this apparently linear unlock schedule, the relative growth is much, much slower. And here's the nice thing about Pangolin today. 90% is already circulating. So the reason for that prior underperformance does not prevail anymore. There is no more dangerously high token inflation. Now, how big is Pangolin relative to other decentralized exchanges on Avalanche? Let's have a look at DEX Screener, the Avalanche chain, all DEXs. Trader Joe, the largest decentralized exchange, had 40 million, or to be more precise, 39 million of trading volume in the last 24 hours. Pangolin is the second largest decentralized exchange. It had 9.7 million. So roughly 1/4 of the size of the leader. Now again, I want to know what's behind a rally. Why is it suddenly shooting up when the total value locked on the platform isn't going up? Why is there suddenly this price rally? Who is buying here, or who has bought potentially before this rally? To answer that, I have built a tool that I make available to the premium members. The link is down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. You can plug in any token in this tool, at least any EVM compatible token. On the left side, we've got the number of wallets that hold at least 1,000 PNG tokens. At the current price, that's $280. That's what I'd consider small retail. In the middle, we've got medium-sized retail. That's now $2,800, so a 10x from the left. On the right side, we've got another 10x. That's now $28,000 worth of the token. Now, those are all very long-term charts. They all accumulate over time. And it again shows that even though you've got a growing investor base, if token inflation is high enough, then your price, relatively speaking, will decline. But let's have a look at what happened in this last month. Here are the same charts in the last month. And yes, the number of retail investors grew by roughly 10%. The number of medium-sized retail, though, grew by roughly 20%, 15 to 20%. The whales, they grew by roughly 30%. So what we are seeing here is that the people with deep pockets tend to make the right call. We see this time and time again. The whales, they bought in early. They got most of that rally. And so I do believe that the token can potentially rise further. There's very little token inflation similar to the Uni token. You might want to check out the recent Uniswap video on this channel. And on top of that, we see accumulation by the smart money. In essence, this is of course a relatively high risk play. It's in the end an altcoin. That being said, it's an established platform. It has no token inflation. And I believe that in the current bull run, PNG can very likely outperform AVAX. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. If you've got Telegram, feel free to join us. The link is down below.